Today, we're just going to get right into it as your favorite talking head does his best to keep his promise. That's right, I read another book. This one just happens to be The Study for Obedience by Sara Bernstein, and it was a lot of fun to read, and I'll explain why. Hi, I'm your host, Chris Humphrey, and for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm just another talking head doing my best to get my opinion out there on movies, books, television, you name it. I'll do my best to get it out there, but in particular when I want you to read something. And in this case, I do want you to read this book, Study for Obedience by Sara Bernstein, because it's going to be very decisive. It's going to be an interesting read for you, and I promise it's very short. Starting with the new format, I'm going to give it an 8, and then we're going to walk it back to explain how I got there. But you know me, I like to start off with what I think people aren't going to like. And the first thing that people aren't going to like is that it's a very unreliable narrator. It's one of those books where is the narrator telling the truth or not? And a lot of it tends to be truth, but in dark comedic ways. Now, the other thing that people aren't going to like is that sometimes these sentences are going to be a little long and the wording is going to be a little thesaurus and writing like. And some people aren't going to like the meanderness of the author's style, and that's okay. Me, I enjoy books like this. I enjoy going for the Margaret Atwood special and going for 100-word sentences. I enjoy that, but not a lot of people do, and I can understand why some people wouldn't. But an 8 out of 10 is a good score. It's not perfect because there are some questions, more or less, that I have for the writer. But I do like uh, discussing about gender roles and uh, misogyny. I can't even speak English. That's how tired I am. Um, Misogyny and all those fun things in life. But I'll give you the premise of the book. See if it's something that you like. The long short of it is this unreliable and unnamed Jewish narrator is being asked by her brother to come to his place to help take care of him after his divorce, help take care of the house while she works from home in the audio transcribe field. It's a book that's the easiest way. When she gets to town, back to her brother's town, weird shit starts happening with the cows and the farm life and the townsfolk always watching and staring at her. But are they really? Because we can't trust this kind of narrator. And it was really cool to see a writer get into that nuance. Because, yeah, we have Scott Fitzgerald and what countless other Holden Caulfield is unreliable narrators. Are they telling the truth or what? But we have this, and then we have this author who does their best to bring it to a new dry, sarcastic, and dark writing style with big words, and big sentences that help make me smile. Now, if I could get the last 60 pages of that book, if I could get that throughout the whole book, this would probably be a perfect score because it really picks up in those last 60 pages where the writing is crisp, even better than it was in the beginning. And it just made me go, wow, this was perfect, those last 60 pages. This was in the beginning, great. First chapters, you're kind of going through it. And then by the second chapter, you realize the type of writing style this author has. This is the perfect book to actually learn from. If you're an English teacher and you want the kids to read something modern that they might or might not like, this is a good book to learn how to use our commas and how to comma splice properly, and how to try and go for Margaret Atwood's 100 word sentences. Uh, but if you're not a fan of that, I understand, and it's not going to be for everybody. But I promise you, if you stick around with this book and you get to those last 60 pages, those last like 5, 6 chapters, it, it's a delight. It's a delight. Not really chapters, but breaks in a book, and it's worth staying just for the discussion now, because it turns from a study for obedience to a study for agency, and this is where the writer does a phenomenal job at. You don't know where they're going, and you don't know at the end, so it's not going to be decisive, but you don't know what they're doing, and you have so many more questions, but it's ambiguous, and that's what the author wants its words to kill you with kindness, to get you to read the book. And I was a fan. Like I said, some people aren't going to like that. It's short, it's sweet, but I wholeheartedly did. I liked that the writer wanted somebody so unreliable that you don't know what it is, and then when they describe uh, details of their mother's kitchens and things like that, the realism takes you in, because the author is a very wordy writer, and that's great. So my tip is, every English teacher that's out there, you want to get your young kids to read a book and do a book report, this is the book to learn from. And if they want to become a writer, this is a book for the ages. And I hope it goes on to win a lot of big literary awards. And it should, uh, personally, because it's just so interesting. And I can see why it would be popular with bookworms and book nerds like me. And I can see why the casual readers would probably be like, ugh. And then I can also see why the bookworms and book nerds would be like, ugh. And then I can see why the casuals might be like, oh, this is very, very good. Because it is very clever writing. 8 out of 10. You can see it didn't make my top 5, as you can see. But that's okay. I want you to go out there and read it. I want you to study for obedience, turning into agency. I want you to go out there and read Sarah Bernstein's new book. Phenomenal read. It won't let you down, I promise. But you know what I'm going to say, because I'm out of time. I love you guys. Producer, play some music, but I want you guys to have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Ciao.